Grizzly, are you tired? You literally haven't done anything all day. What's up guys, Chris here from Vo-Gus Prospecting. If you're new to the channel, a big warm welcome. It's great to see your smiling face. And if you're an old moldy hat like this one, welcome back. Today I'm using a brand new piece of prospecting equipment by Placer Mining Tools. The link for this is in the description below, and that is a black sand probe. The idea of this tool is simply to help you narrow down where the heavies are sitting in any particular area, because where the heavies are sitting, usually gold is very close by. So today we're going to use this tool to collect 2 buckets of pay dirt so I can take it home to pan off in isolation, which is what I'm assuming a lot of you guys are doing at the moment as well. That's enough talk about this ruddy virus. Let's get into collecting some pay dirt. Grizzly, I only ask one thing of you today. No snakes. This is the tool that we're going to be using to help identify where the gold is. Up this end, there is a magnet, and the idea is that you stick it in the ground, you wiggle it around a little bit, and you pull it out, and you look at what kind of heavies have collected on it. You can see some ironstone just there. Now, by sticking this in the ground in multiple locations across an area and keeping an eye on how much ironstone comes out on it, you should be able to identify where the heavies were dropped. Where the heavies were dropped, your gold was probably dropped along with it. In the future, probably once this event's all over, I'm going to do a really big demonstration of this. It's going to be really cool. I've got a massive plan. I've written it all out in the book. I'm super excited to bring that to you. But for now, we're going to just quickly go through and just see if the principle works. That had some. That actually had a fair bit compared to the others. Really easy to clean too. Okay, that had heaps. That's got way more than the last one. I did a series of holes where Grizz is standing, and I got really good consistent gold on the very edge of this mound here. I followed that edge back and it was giving me quite consistent ironstone back until this point. Now I've got a nice mound of sand here, and I know that there's gold in this from another video that's yet to be published, where we pulled out heaps of flour gold from here. So what we're going to do is sieve it down using this kitchen strainer. None of the gold that we mined from here after moving about 4 cubic meters is any bigger than this. It's very, very fine stuff. So we're going to use this to classify this down. We want to get maximum volume of pay dirt in there and no waste rock. What's Grizzly doing? We're doing good not getting any snakes, buddy. Now, because we don't have a pan out on the field with us today, we're going to use this to basically do our test pans. There is a hard layer. I'll put this upside down so I don't get any stuff on it. There's a hard layer of sand just here, and I want to know whether or not this stuff here has any ironstone in it, because if it doesn't have any ironstone in it, there's probably not any gold. So we're going to compare a sample of this to a sample of this. I'm going to do that by, I just loosened it up with my fingers so I can swirl it through. So this is just that sand. Alright, so that's a respectable showing of ironstone. I'll put that in the scoop. Get it all off. There we go. So that's what we got out of the sand. Now, we're going to do the same thing here. Just put it in one wall. Do the sand, and we got way more ironstone in the sand than we did in the hard pack stuff underneath. So I'll scrape this off. That was all that. There you go. Side by side samples from the sand, from in the hard pack sand underneath. It's probably, honestly, sitting between the 2 layers. the gold that I'm going to find here is going to be tiny. It's going to be minuscule. It's not going to be big chunky bits in this. That's why we're taking another bucket from a different location. I'm going to show you that in a sec. I'm just going to finish this bucket off. Grizzly buddy, that took a little while, but we got there. As you can see, we've classified all this dirt down to a very satisfactory talcum powder size. Ooh, that's all stuck to my hand. That was probably a bad idea. Now I know that these buckets can hold about 3 Garrett or Minelab pans worth of dirt. So by classifying down to this size, knowing that the gold is very small flour gold, we actually saved about a pan's worth of space. So we probably got about 4 pans worth of dirt in this bucket. And one of the exciting things that I found was this. All this stuff in there is flood debris, and that means that the floodwaters definitely deposited stuff in this area, and that's probably why we're finding such flour gold. So we get the last little bit of that stuff out, put this down here, and go get our next bucket. To make a fair and accurate comparison, I'd have to take this magnetic tool, go to a spot that didn't have very good magnetics, not very much heavies, and take another bucket from there, process the 2 buckets side by side, and then look at how much gold each gave me. That will give me the answer. But for today, I just want to show the working principle because I don't have the time. I don't want to be out here for very long to do that. And I just really want to collect some gold. So we're going to take this bucket behind me, and we're going to the mustard pit. If you're a long time follower of the channel, you know all about the mustard pit. If not, I'll link a video up here so you get an idea. So because I'm a paranoid gold prospector, I'm going to wash all the classified dirt from the kitchen strainer. Just to make sure there weren't any nuggies hiding in there, which I really don't think there would be because out of 2 cubic meters of runtime, when we did the high banking test here, we didn't get anything bigger than a dot. But you never know. There we go, now we've got enough water. I'm pretty damn happy with that. There was absolutely no gold left on those rocks and hardly any black sand, which means most of it went through the sieve. I mean, either that or, you know, there's no gold there. So we've got the same deal again. We're going to use this probe, which is clean, and we're going to jam it into the different layers in this bank and see roughly where we should be taking it from. Now, historically, in the mustard pit, you take it from this layer here, from this rocky layer there, up until about here, and that's where most of your gold is. So we're going to jam it in and just see if anything comes out, which it did in plentiful form. Now we're going to do the top layer. Almost nothing. I'm going to open up some fresh ground at the bottom because clearly that bank has slumped in. So we're going to take one from down here. Yeah, more than the top but not as much as the middle. So we're still going to take it out from this stuff in here. Stole this pasta strainer of Zoe and it works an absolute treat for classifying. Grizzly, just don't tell her, buddy. What I wanted to know was how much gold we were getting per pasta strainer full of dirt. There was about 10 pasta strainers to that one bucket. So all I did was classify 1 pasta strainer's worth of dirt down into my pan and pan it out. And this is the result. This is why I call it the mustard pit. All of that is gold from 1 classified pasta strainer. Ladies and gentlemen, that is both buckets completely full of classified pay dirt. We took 1 bucket from the sand. We know the sand has the finest of fine mustard gold in it. We're talking like 500 mesh gold, very small. So we classified down to 1 millimeter. The other bucket was from the mustard pit. Now historically, most of that gold is also somewhere between 2 and 500 mesh, although occasionally you do get a nicer bit. So we classified it down to 1/8 inch. I'm going to take both of these buckets home for processing separately. I want to try a different method for each bucket to separate the gold out. Now, both these buckets will be processed in a near future video. And if you don't want to miss out on those videos, please hit that subscribe button and the bell in the bottom corner down there. And that way you won't miss out on any of the videos I've got coming up. I've literally got about 15 videos on my hard drive ready to go. It just takes a lot of work creating and publishing them. So bear with me, about one a week. And in the coming weeks and months, I'm probably going to be far more active on my social media than I am going to be here on YouTube. So make sure you jump down in the description below and check out all the links that I've left for you to check out. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. From me and Grizzly, please keep your hands sanitized, wash, don't touch any people, give your dog a scratch behind the ear for me. Peace. And I'm out. How's quarantine life going, Mr. Grizz? You going pretty good? Ooh, play bow.
You didn't think I was going to leave you without showing you any gold this video, did you?
We got a little bit of gold from some upcoming videos. Check that bad boy out. That hasn't even been cleaned up yet. That is going to be sick.
Straight off the bat, I want you to know this is the last video I was filming from the goldfields before the stage 3 restrictions came in place. All the videos you watch from here on out have been pre-recorded. I've got about 15 videos on my hard drive that date back to January and all the way up to maybe about a week ago. Even though I make a large percentage of my income from gold mining, I have made the choice to stop mining when the stage 3 restrictions came in force here in Victoria.
Now, before I go any further, I want to put something out there. I am very lucky to live extremely close to the goldfields. I drive directly from home to out here, and I am limiting my time on the creek by simply collecting the pay dirt. I'm not going to process it in this spot. Furthermore, according to the government guidelines that have been issued here in Australia, I am allowed to come out here because I make a vast majority of my income from gold mining. The situation for the vast majority of you watching this video will not be the same. Many people aren't lucky enough to live this close to the goldfields, and that means that you would have to travel, buy fuel, invest in food, and generally speaking, come in contact with a lot of other people. And this is the danger. It's a little bit more than a hobby for myself. The Queensland, New South Wales, and Victorian governments have all released statements regarding prospecting during this pandemic. What they have said is very, very clear. You are not to do it unless you live incredibly close to the goldfields, and even then you are meant to limit your time. And I wanted to put this out there because a lot of people seem to miss the point. It's not necessarily for you. I have someone very close to me who deals with a chronic illness, and they would be in a lot more trouble than someone like myself if they caught this virus. By you sitting at home and watching this video and not traveling out to the goldfields, you protect people like that. You protect friends and family members who might not be able to cope with the virus. It doesn't matter if you're not personally going to be affected by it, because other people will be. And if it so happens that I'm out here and other people rock up and want to start conversing with me, I will leave. It's that simple. And I wanted to leave you with this one thought. There's a favorite quote of mine, which is, "Luck favors the prepared mind." And this simply means one thing. The people who seem to always get very lucky when they come out gold prospecting have the knowledge behind them to take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. The only way you can get that knowledge is through studying and learning. And you've been granted so much free time, more than you've probably ever had in your adult life, to do as such. Sit down and read books on gold mining from the 1800s. Download audiobooks on these subjects. Get on Google Maps and search every single square inch and all the backdated images on Google Maps for potential spots to go out, and mark them down in a book. Read all the newspaper articles that were written back in the 1800s about yields of gold, and place names and people names, and research them relating back to Google Maps. Do your best to get on the internet and find old surveying maps of where creeks were, where roads were, where townships were, so you can go metal detecting. You have up to 6 months to prepare for your next trip on the goldfields, and I think that's a fantastic opportunity.